This one's on why Obama can't fix the economy. First of all, there's three words we need to understand. Balance of powers. But before we get to those three words, let's look at two more words that people have been making a whole lot of fun of recently. Hope and change. It is true that Obama running for office was hoping to change Washington. But you can't do this if half of Washington doesn't want to be changed. This would be like telling an alcoholic that you're going to get him sober. You can't. Not unless he wants to get sober. In fact, Obama quickly learned, as president, what every married couple already knows. It takes two to make a marriage work, but only one to destroy it. The two parties are seeming to suffer from irreconcilable differences. In fact, it was Rush Limbaugh who set the stage for the Republican response to the Obama administration when he sat behind his microphone and bellowed, "I want this president to fail." And the Republicans marched lockstep to his orders. They did everything they could do to ensure that the president's policies would be blocked or watered down. We have had zero bipartisanship in Washington in the last 4 years. The problem for the American people, of course, is that part of Obama's policies were to bring back jobs and help restore the middle class. But in Mitch McConnell's words, we are going to do everything we can to ensure that Obama is a one-term president. Again, our problem is if the economy improves, Obama gets reelected. The Republicans don't want Obama reelected. Therefore, we can infer that they don't want the economy to improve, at least until after the election. They'll never say this, of course, but their policies have shown their hand. Back to balance of powers. The United States Constitution, in its wisdom and foresight, provided for a balance that the president would have to work with Congress. In fact, we have a president. We don't have a dictator. The president can provide direction, but with a divided government, one party in the presidency, the other party in the Congress, we cannot get anything done if they don't compromise. Now, of course, the Republicans were saying Obama had a majority. Obama had a majority for the first 2 years, but he didn't have a supermajority. This is what a supermajority is. Out of 100 senators, 41 can block any legislation they want. This is known as the filibuster. The Republicans have used it in a record number of times in the last 3 years. If the president wants policies implemented, and the House of Representatives want policies implemented, and 59 of the senators want policies implemented, and 41 of them don't, the policies won't get implemented. This is what we call tyranny of the minority, when 41 senators can block any legislation they want. So, divided government used to work. Not always well, but with compromise, we got things done. Now divided government has become dysfunctional government because no one will compromise. Well, certainly on one side. The Republicans are now claiming that as the election is growing near, that Obama's policies have failed to improve our economy. What policies are they talking about? The only policy that was implemented was the stimulus early on. And what we see in our recovery is the economy did start to turn around from its nosedive. It started to go back up, and then it leveled off. When Obama took office, the Dow Jones was at 6,500. Rock bottom. It has since gone up to anywhere between 12,000 and 13,000. It's essentially doubled. The American people are saying that doesn't do me any good. If I got a retirement fund, it does. Where are the jobs? Okay, Wall Street's doing fine. Not as fine as they'd be doing if Europe was doing better, but that's another issue. We don't know how to blame Obama for Europe's problems, so we won't mention Europe. Their economy is tied with ours, and they're stagnated also. Where are the jobs? One, we need to distinguish between private sector and public sector, though we don't get into it deeply. Private sector jobs are doing okay, not as good as we'd like, but we do know that Obama has had more private sector jobs in the last 3.5 years than George Bush did in his first 3.5 years in office. Because of a dwindling tax base, we're laying off public sector. Politics is a dirty game, and the Republicans have a dirty little secret. No one could turn this economy around in 2 or 3 years. And when Obama didn't turn it around in 2, they whipped up the Tea Party, or the Tea Party whipped up them, and they took over. They had their landslide in the House of Representatives, and they were going to get their way. They came to Washington to block all of Obama's policies, to compromise on nothing, and nothing has gotten done since they came to office. So, the economy's now stagnated. We blame it on Obama, or in reality, do we blame it on the Congress, who has the power of the purse? Now, there is one more issue that seems to be the case right now. It may be that our businesses are on strike. You see, because they're sitting on record assets, they're sitting on record profits, and they're refusing to hire. When asked, they will say, the demand for our product is not there. They are admitting something that no Republican will admit. The problem is demand-side economics. Those of us who need goods don't have enough money left over at the end of the week to buy many of the goods we need. We were told for 30 years that the correct economic policies were supply side. Give the money to the rich and the corporations and it will all trickle down. If that was true, some of us at the bottom would have some. We now know the truth is that it all trickles up. That's where it is. Those of us at the bottom don't have any. Demand is what we need, but we need money to demand their products. The economy will improve, and it will probably start to improve after the election because they're not going to go on strike forever. Eventually, the Republicans are going to have to compromise because the American people are starting to demand it.